Okay, let's start now. Let me open the Python online file. Okay. Good evening, everyone. Now, today we'll be discussing about the functions, some basic things about the functions, and then we will do certain questions related to the functions, right? So, what are the functions? Functions, I guess I should not discuss here what are the functions because you guys absolutely know what are the functions, and you can also get the information from the online sources. Okay. Okay, now let's discuss the functions, how functions we are having in the Python. Let's say I'll say def, and here I will give the function name as fun, and here I'm not passing anything, and after that I'm giving column here. Okay, so I guess everyone knows what is the pass, right? And suppose if I will run this program, I'm not getting anything here. I'm not getting anything here. Suppose one more thing. If I write something like this here, I'm saying print, and here I'm saying hello, right? After that, in the past, in this function also, I'm writing something as print, and I'm saying here world, right? Now, if I will execute this program, the output that you are here is getting is hello, right? But you are not getting the output as the world, right? You are not getting the output as a world. So what is happening here? This line number two is being executed, right? Line number one is not being executed because is a comment here, right? So comment lines are not being executed in any program. Getting this point? Okay. This print hello, you are getting the output as print hello. Hello you are getting here. But this word output you are not getting here, right? So the reason being here, you are defining the function here. You are defining the function here, but you are not calling the function. You are not calling the function. So I will say here one comment line. Here we are defining the function. Here we are defining the function, right? So if take an example, this is your number, your phone number, right? Your phone number is saved in my phone directory, right? When I have to talk to you, I have to dial your phone number and call you, right? I have to dial your number and call you, right? So here, take an example. This is your phone number. I have your phone number. I want to have a conversation with you. So for that, I have to call you. So that I have to call you. So this is how I will call any function, right? Now, if I will run it, okay, the output you are getting now is hello as well as the world. Hello you are getting because of this line number 2, and world you are getting because of the line number 6, right? That means whenever you are creating any function, if you want that function to be executed, you have to call it. You have to call it. Getting this point? Getting this point? Okay. Now, let's take an example. Let's take an example. We are having a two values. We are having a two values here, and I'm saying a equal to int input, and here I am saying enter the number, right? And after that I will copy this line again and I will paste it here. Sorry, I'll say b equal to int input, enter the second number, controls, and here I will say enter the second number, right? And after that I am performing something like this. I will say print a plus b, right? Now I will run it again. Okay, it is saying enter the first number, I will say 12, enter the second number, I will say 32, and it is performing the output as 44 and the word because of this line. Okay, now here I want you guys to understand one thing. Now here I want to print this as a 44, right? So here we will learn about the return function. We will learn here about the return function, and here I am saying return a plus b. I am saying here a plus b. Why? What is the return function? Return function, when you are calling this function from here, you are calling this function. I will say calling the function, calling the function, right? Here I am calling the function, and this function has been executed. You are taking the first number, you are taking the second number. After that, you are saying return a plus b, right? If I will make you guys understand in a layman's language what this return is. Suppose, take an example, there is some person Alex, right? There is an agreement between me and Alex, right? I am saying to Alex, whenever I will be calling you, whenever I will be calling you, or whenever I will say your name, you have to give me coffee and you have to leave, right? Whenever I will call you, your work is to give me coffee and then just leave, right? So same thing is happening here. Here, this fun one at line number 11, it is calling the fun function and it is returning a plus b and it is stopping. We can understand that. That means the return function is returning something to the point from where you are calling it, then it is stopping here. This function is stopping here. Getting this point? Means this return function does one thing. It returns to a position from where you are calling it. उस जगह पे ये रिटर्न कर रहा है जहाँ पे आप उसे कॉल कर रहे हो, right? Now, suppose if I will execute it now, if I will execute it now, so here it is saying hello, then it's saying enter the first number. Let's enter the first number as 56. Then enter the second number. I will say second number is 2. Okay, but you are not getting any kind of output here. Since here it has performed the 56 plus 2, and as I told you, it returns the position from where you are calling it. This is the position from where we are calling it, right? But it is not printing something on the screen. Why? Because if you want the output, since his work is to return from where you are calling it. Suppose Alex, I said you, Alex is saying, whenever you call me, I will give you the coffee. Now Alex is giving me the coffee, or he is throwing, or we can take the toffee. He is throwing a toffee towards me. Now it is up to me whether I will catch it or not, right? His work is to throw a toffee. Right, he is throwing a trophy. Now I have to catch it. I'm not catching it here somewhere, right? That is why it is not displayed here in the screen, right? One more thing, if you want to print something on the output screen, for that you have to require one function, that is called the one inbuilt function, that is the print statement, right? And when I will run it now, okay, it's saying first number, I'm saying 78, it's saying second number, I will give 2, and now you will get the output of 80 here. Understood here? Here we are returning 78 plus 2, and it is returning the position from here you are calling it. If you return to this position, then you are saying print 80. Then it is being printed here. This is one way. Another way. Suppose if I need this 80, whatever the calculation here he is doing, I can say here ret value, yani कि return value is equal to fun, right? When this line has been executed, these lines are being defined. Here we are defining one thing, rate value equal to fun. That means this will be evaluated first, this will be evaluated first, then it will be assigned to this variable, right? Here you are having the assignment operator, means whatever this thing is returning, we are storing it in this variable, right? After that I can say print ret underscore val, right? Now let me run it. Again it is saying first number I will give 4, second number I will give 5. Now the output you are getting is 9, which is same as the previous one. Previously what you were doing, you were directly printing it, but here now you are storing in some variable. Because of the reason, maybe you will need something, you will say whatever over there it is returning, then perform the addition of 2 to that return number. I will say new underscore val equal to ret underscore val plus 2, right? Then I will say here ret val, and I will say again print new underscore val and I will print here this thing. Control E and let me run it. Again, it's saying the same thing. Let's say I'll say 78, then saying I'll say 98. Now it is saying 176, and I am adding this 2 to the 176, then it is printing the 178. Okay, this thing is clear. Okay, now new thing. Now new things we will learn. Now we will learn something about the local variable and the global variable. What is local variable? What is local variable and global variable? Local variable and global variable. Okay. Now, what is a local variable? Local variable, its scope is only up to this function's block or the container of this function. Means you can only use the A and B within this fun container. As I told you, this function is one of the container and you can access the A and B within this container. You can't access it outside this container, right? If I will come outside this container and I will say here print A, right? I'm saying here print A, right? Now let me call this function. Let me call this function and I will say fun this, right? Then I'm saying print A. If this A's scope is outside the variable, outside this function, then I can access it, right? If I can't access it outside the function, at the time I can say it is a local variable. Let me check it out. Let's prove it. Okay, let's prove it. I will say first number is 23, second number is 44. Now if we check the output and it is saying name A is not defined in the line number 13. Name A is not defined in the line number 13. In the line number 13 we are trying to print A, right? And it is throwing the error here. Why? It is looking for the A here outside this function. Is there A anywhere? No, there is no A, right? This is the thing here. If you are defining some variable, defining and assigning, we are doing here two things. One, we are defining the A and we are assigning the value to A, right? Same thing here, right? That means you can only access this A here within the function. You can't access it outside the function. This is the proof here. Getting this point? And when there is this scenario you can call it, it is a local variable. It is a local variable, right? Now, take an example, what is a global variable then? You will say, sir, what is a global variable then? Let me show you. Suppose I am defining here one variable. Let's say that variable is num and I am saying num equal to 34. I am saying var equal to this string, string string, right? Now, if this num and var I can access within this function, and outside this function, then we can say it is a global variable. Suppose if I want to print the num here and I want to print the var here, that means I should be able to access these variables because I have defined them outside the function. Now if I will run it, okay, I will say 78 and I will say 98, then hit enter, and okay, it is now saying 34. See what happens is A, you are saying enter the number, you are entering the 87 here, then you are saying enter the second number, we are entering the 98, then you are saying print num. The num is 34, we are able to access the 34, then we are saying print var is string, and when we are able to print the string, then you are saying return A plus B, that means it will perform 87 plus 98 and we return to the position from where you are calling it. Okay, it is returning here, but here you are not catching nor printing, you are not catching here in any variable, nor you are printing here directly, right? After that you are saying print A and it's saying name A is not defined because A is defined here, but this A is a local variable. This A is a local variable. So here I can say this 34 and this is a global variable. Global variable. Okay. That means Global variable is a variable which you can access anywhere in the program. In your program, you can access it anywhere. I can access this here as well. If I will say here num, this outside the function, and I will say outside function, comma, outside, and here again I will copy this thing, Control C, and I will paste it here, Control V, and here I will try to print where, right? V is capital, no, V is small, and I will make it V, and let me print it. And here let's give the 78, let's give the 2, and okay, let's give the 78 here, enter, give the 2 here. Now it is giving the 34 because of this line, 34 string because of this line, then is returning here. Then you are saying print outside 34, you can access it here, you can access it here. Now if I will create one more function here, I will create one more function here, and I will say that fun2, and here I will use a colon, and here I will say the same thing, Control C, Control V, and here I will say inside function, inside fun2, right? Here I will copy the same thing, and I will paste it here, right? Now let me run this. Let's say it is 23 and it is 2, and it is saying 34 because of this thing, string because of this thing, that it is saying outside, but you are not getting this output inside function num, and now where. Now can anyone tell me what is the reason here why it is happening? This is happening only because you have defined this function, you have defined this container, right? But you are not calling it, you are not calling it. If you want to call it, let me call it, I will say here then fun2, right? That means first fun1 will be executed, these lines will be executed, then these two lines will be executed, then I am calling the fun2, that means here I will call the fun2 here, right? Okay, let me run it now, and it is saying enter the first number. This fun is being executed, it is calling this function here, and let's say I'm giving the one as 1 and second number as 2, and it is saying 34 string. 34 string means you are able to access this global variable here, right? Then it's saying outside 34th string, outside 34th string, that means outside the functions, these two functions you can also access it. Then you are calling the fun2, fun2 you are calling here, and here you are saying inside fun2 34 string, right? That means global variable is a variable which you can access anywhere in the program, anywhere you can access in the program, right? Let me remove this from here, let me remove this from here. Okay, we will have just one. Okay, now since the a is a local variable here, since the a is a local variable here, now can I access this a in some other function? Why to ask? Let's try it. I will copy here, let me copy this thing, and I will say here inside function to a is, right, and here I will use the a, I will use the a, and I will try to access this a, right? I will try to access this a. Now if I will run it, let's say I'm giving the a variable as 78, right? Then it is saying error. It is saying error. Why it is saying error? Because we are trying to perform here a plus b, and b is not defined. B is not defined. Let's remove this return function as well. Let's remove this return function as well as of now. Okay, now if I will run it, and let's say I'm giving 7 here. Now it is giving the output of 34 because of this line, then it is giving the string, right? Then you are calling this function is being completed here. After that you are saying print outside num, it is saying 34, outside where, it is saying string, and then you are calling the fun2, that means these lines is being called. Here you are saying print inside fun2 a is comma a, and he is saying a is not defined. Getting this point here? A is not defined here. That means this local variable you can't access in some other function, right? This local variable you can't access in some other function. Now, if I will say something like this, before here calling this one, I will call here A is equal to 2000. A is equal to 2000. Now, see what will happen here. First, we are printing the hello, then we are defining this thing, we are defining and assigning this thing, we are defining this function, we are defining this function, then we are declaring and assigning this value to A, then we are calling the fun this, right? Let me run it. And here suppose if I want to, and it is saying enter the number. Here it is saying enter the number. Let's say I am saying A is equal to 11. A is equal to 11. Now it is saying 34 string, then it's saying outside string is 34 base, but here inside fun2 A is still 2000. A is still 2000, right? A is still 2000. That means here it is looking for a local variable A. Since local variable A is not present here, right? So it will look for the global variable A, right? And this is the global variable A here, and it is printing you the 2000 here, right? Okay, let me create some things here. Okay, let me remove this thing, and let me remove this thing as well. Okay, let's remove these two things as well, because these things you understood already. Now I want to make you understand something else, right? Let's say do something like this. I'm saying it is 89, right? And here I'm saying print, and here I'll say A in fun is, right? And here I will say inside fun2 A is, right? Same thing. Now if I will run it, see it is saying A is okay. Oh, that's one mistake I have done here, and I will say comma A here. Okay, let me run it. And programming, you are learning when you make mistakes. Okay, it's saying hello, then it is saying A in fun is 89. A in fun is 89. Inside fun2 A is 2000. Inside fun2 A is 2000. So what is happening here? This fun one, when you are trying to print the A, it is looking for the A within its scope first. Within its scope first. If there is A present, then it will prefer that value. It is preferring this value, not this value. Since A is defined here as a global as well, and A is defined here in a local as well, right? So whenever if you are having a variable which is both local as well as a global, at that time the function will prefer the local variable first. If the local variable is this, then it will prefer that, right? Otherwise, it will look for the global variable, right? So here in the fun2, it can't access this variable A because this is a local variable and its scope is only to this function, right? You can't use it outside the function. And this, what this is doing, it is also looking for the A within this function. Is A present here? No, there is no A. Then it will come outside the function and look for the A if the global variable A is present here. So here the global A variable is present, right? Okay, that's why you are getting the 2000. Now, if there is a scenario, you want a variable within a function. Suppose within this function, take an example, my name. Now, my name, or whatever is my name, it can be accessed by anyone, right? Anyone can call me by this name. That means everyone knows my name, and I want to tell my name to everyone. So how I can take, if this is my function, this is my personal information, right? Within this personal information, I am not sharing my bank details. If I'm not sharing my bank details, I can keep those bank details as a local variable. But my name, I want to share my name with everyone. I want to share my name to everyone. So for that, I will use them one keyword that's called the global, and I will say my name global, my name, and then I am saying print my name in fun is, right, and here I will say my name, right? Since I have not assigned any name to my this, I have just defined here or declared here. Now to assign a value to it, I will say my name is equal to anx, right? Now, since now let's see here first. Let me run it, and okay, let me run it. Now it is saying my name is fun. My name in fun is Anvi, right? Now, what if I want to access this here as well? I want to access this here as well. That means I will say print. Same thing I will now write it again. I'll copy from here, and I will paste it here, right? And I will say my name in fun2 is. Right? Now if I run it, see what happens. Right? Now it is saying my name in fun is Anji. My name in fun2 is Anji, right? I mean within this function I created a one variable which I want to be accessible by everyone. Which I want to be accessible by everyone. Now that means I can access it here. I can access it in this function as well. Now can I access it outside? Can I access it outside? Again I will paste it here. Now here instead of this I will say outside. I will say outside. Now I will run it. That means you are getting the output outside as well, inside a function as well, and within the function as well. That means if you have to create one variable which you want to be accessed by everyone, every function within the program, you have to tell it like this: global my name. You have to tell it is a global variable. Everyone can access it, but it is my property. This my name is a property of this function, and it is allowing everyone to access it, right? So can I do something like this? Can I do something like this? Control X I will do, and here I will remove it, and here let me say Control V, and if I will run it, now it is showing an error. It is saying invalid syntax. Means when you are declaring any global variable, you can't assign it at the same time. यहाँ पे आप क्या कर रहे हो? Assign भी कर रहे हो और declare भी कर रहे हो, right? या define भी कर रहे हो, right? This you can't do with the global variable, right? Now let me come back to here. Okay, now it will run perfectly. Okay, I guess this thing is clear. Okay, now let's hope we'll meet in the next video, and I will stop here. Thank you.